And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us in this broadcast. Field hockey matchup between Mary Washington Eagles and your Southern Virginia Knights. And we apologize to all the fans who were trying to watch this broadcast. We were experiencing some technical difficulty on our side, but it seems that we're all good now. And just to give you a score update, the Eagles lead the Knights here 8-0. The Knights just unable to get more opportunities to score. But of course, the Eagles dominated the game with 27 shots on goal against the Knights, who has nothing. And Ben, what are your takes on this game, and what can the Knights do coming into the second half?
Well, I think it's good to note that the Knights played a much better second quarter defensively. Eagles are able to score 7 goals in the first quarter alone, only 1 goal in that second quarter. So I think going into this third quarter and second half, Knights can definitely look up with a positive head, knowing that their defense is improving. And so I think, like I've said before in previous broadcasts, a good defense will turn into good offense.
And of course, in a great offense, will dominate games as we just saw the Eagles do. And right now, the player to watch out for the Knights, who have done an exceptional job, is Kylie Nace, who had 218 saves this season so far, and she has been a star player. She has not been able to keep those 8 shots going in, but she did keep the 19 that did not go in. So great, the Knights are still doing well, and let's see how interesting this will be when they come in to the second half. And we know that the Mary Washington do come into this game after a fresh victory 2-1 against St. Mary's on 26 October, and goals were scored by Jess Smith and Izzy Scholes, ending their 4-match losing streak. And of course, the Knights right now are on a 15-match winless streak, and they will be looking for a win today, but anything can happen in the second half, even though they're 8-0 down. But as all other odds would say, it's highly unlikely today. But what do you think the Knights can do mentally to stay in this game in the second half, man?
I think it's just staying positive. You know, in all sports, not just field hockey, there've been a lot of insane comebacks throughout history, being down by a significant number, and then the losing team coming back and winning. So I'm a big believer that miracles can happen, and that this game is definitely not over.
But yeah, even if it's not, the Knights don't come back. It has been a great experience so far, because just giving an analysis, I should say, the Mary Washington Eagles were exceptional in the first half. Every pass, every ball they have given to their player has an exception. And 2 players that need mention is number 1, Lauren Hopkins, a senior from Virginia Beach, and number 2, Lexi Dixon, a senior from Landenberg. And of course, she's known in this turf with the orange hockey stick, and she has been exceptional just running up and down the right wing, causing so many problems for the Knights defense.
and problems that will probably keep persisting in the second half as this game goes on.
And of course, Marilee, Aiken, Victoria Bissell are unable to get some attacks for the Knights in the first half. But let's see if the second half changes anything. And of course, the Knights come into this game after a defeat from number 3, Salisbury. And they did lose, and they did concede 5 goals in the first quarter. And that match ended pretty badly. But of course, Kylie Nace yet again making 21 saves in that game.
Kylie Nace being a very notable player to talk about coming into this game with 218 saves. That is a whopping number for a sport like field hockey. And yes, it is the end of the season, but that's still big. You look at Mary Wash's goalie, Jillian Lawrence. She has 127 saves.
And of course, those who are joining us in this broadcast, we once again apologize for the technical difficulty that we experienced. But everything is smooth and good, and the rain is pouring down in this Buena Vista, Virginia. We are at the fields, and in this commentary box is Kuna Shilon and Ben Spencer with you today. And as you mentioned earlier, Ben, comebacks are great to watch, but this is a season closure. And one thing that I need to mention is, speaking to head coach Camille Lamb, you would always find talking to a coach who will be down, saying, "Well, we're doing bad." But every time you speak to her, she's always confident with the team. She mentions how this is a fresh season, and we know that the Knights hockey team started last season. They were playing off the campus, and they did go against nationally ranked teams, and they did get that experience. But this program is all about leadership and getting these girls get some experience into sports, getting into that fitness, and they have done great. They're not conceding 30, 40 goals. That would be disastrous, but they're not. They're conceding 6 goals, 7 goals, 8 goals even, like this game. But I think we have seen many teams go through 9, 10 seasons just winning or start winning, like some of the teams we have in our campus. It takes some time to build a team, and I think the Knights have to just persevere through this time and get some experience and game time to enable that.
I think that's exactly it. We're talking about how the Knights is a brand new team, started really last spring with just like one tournament and a few games, this being their first full season. And a lot of these girls, this is their first time playing field hockey this season, or last spring, I guess. And so the fact that they've been keeping up with a lot of these teams who are good, they've played a lot of teams that are ranked high in the conference or even in the nation, and they've played them quite well.
And feedback is some of them played in high school and never took a stick until they came into SVUs, and that has been phenomenal what they're doing. And let's see if the Knights will be able to stand this attack yet again. And on the ball right now is number 1, Marilee Aiken. And here we go, folks. The second half of the field hockey game between the Eagles and the Knights so far. On the ball is number 7, Emily Jacobson, but unable to keep possession of the ball. That'll be go out for an Eagles ball.
So Eagles looking to play some smart field hockey this second half to keep this lead alive.
And I think this will be more of a game control for the Eagles. They've scored 8 goals. Unless the players are looking to increase their stats, this might be an opportunity, but I believe that the Knights are not going to give them easy like they did in the first half.
So the ball will go out.
And that'll be out of play.
Mary Wash ball.
And here we go. They have options in the box with the number 9, Izzy Scholes, who does play in the forward position. And I think the Knights, even though they're sitting back, they need someone in the 10 and between the 10 and 20 yard line because they're not able to find any players. And here we go. This will be
a penalty corner or a hidden from the back line as the Knights defense goes and put on their protective gear.
Yes, and of course the Eagles not rushing this one. They know they're 8 goals up. And as we mentioned earlier, this will just be game management for the Eagles. Keeping possession, keeping it tidy, and maybe trying some shots they would never really try in other games.
One of the things I'm noticing
and a shot.
too, Kuna. Oh,
and that goes
that's a
in.
Goal.
Oh, great shot yet again. I believe that was Lauren Hopkins who tapped the ball in.
Great play there by the Eagles, getting it straight in the middle of the box and putting it into the goal.
And of course, this is not the first goal that they've scored from a hit from the outside. This is the second goal, and the one we saw a fantastic shot there by Morgan McCartney to put that one in. And the Knights trail further and further. But I believe this is great for the SVU Knights because they're playing in the rain, a cold weather, and they're playing a very, very strong team. So what more you need for experience?
It is a good experience for the Eagles as well. As assuming that my knowledge is correct, there's a lot of players who usually don't get to play for the Eagles who are currently in right now. So it's a good experience for both teams.
Meredith Libble. Looking to find a gray shirt, only to find a crimson.
Knights with some good possession time right here.
In the form of Michaela Hillian. And what a wonderful game she had last week. Even though the Knights lost, I think they played pretty well. But I think the challenge for the Knights today is being down 9 goals is to carry their head up and keep going because sometimes you can get demoralized and you just want to sit back and just get this game through. And a shot, right? Just going off the post.
A shot taken by number 1 Lauren Hopkins, the goal leader for the Eagles.
And yes, she is with 14 goals so far. And after today's haul, I believe she's at 16. And I think this time the Knights have to watch the left-hand side of their defense, because in the first half, Lexi Dixon and Lauren Hopkins, the number 1 and number 2 for the Eagles team, just caused so many problems. And they were the ones creating most of the opportunity. The Eagles were not able to attack so much from their left. Another dangerous.
I believe that was
Well defended by the Knights.
I missed what that call was, but I believe the Eagles hit that with the wrong side of the stick. So that'll be Knights ball, looking to create an opportunity to play some offense.
Yes, and we know that at attack we have number 21 Paige Anderson, a sophomore from Richland, Washington. Will be looking to lead this Knights offense, but right now the Knights are forced to defend yet another Eagles attack. And they're passing pretty well. They have options in the box for the cross. Great save by Kylie Nace yet again.
It was a great sequence by the Eagles, working the ball up with just 2 players getting past the Knights.
And that's something we've seen throughout this first half. They don't hold the ball so long. They look for other players, and they just have those 1-2 passes. And that was a shot going wide. Great attempt by Lexi Dixon. And I really hope that, I believe they are, but I'd really, really hope that head coach Camille Lamb will be getting some tips and ideas off this game, because it's actually wonderful to go against a team of Mary Washington Eagles caliber. The way they're passing, their movements has been exceptional. Nothing but excellent so far. And if they just keep this up, the Knights can get some experience. And they're not sitting down feeling sorry for themselves. They're trying to attack. They're trying to get something done in this game. They're defending well so far.
And that's, I think, the best thing that the Knights can do. I know, being an athlete growing up, one of my favorite things was playing against teams and individuals who were supremely better than me. And I could look at how they play and be able to learn from that. And so I think this is an experience for the Knights to look and be able to learn. And hopefully they'll be able to watch some footage. That's a goal by number 2, Lexi Dixon, yet again.
And here we go. Lexi Dixon, a senior from Lindenburg, Pennsylvania, going at it yet again. What a phenomenal game she's having so far. And it feels that the Knights defense are starting to have their hits sunken down a little bit, but this is not the time to feel sorry for themselves. I really hope the Knights keep going. They have done exceptionally well, and we're talking about a team that has been trained and played this way for years and years. And as this is the Knights' first season, this is the best opportunity for them to keep learning and move on.
And we've seen the Knights clear a lot of balls onto the Eagles side of the field. I think they're just looking to create that opportunity to have some time over there.
And right now, with 9 minutes left in the third quarter, the score stands at Eagles 10, Knights nothing. And the Eagles managed to get 32 shots on goal. But let me tell you, man of the match for the Knights, of course, will be Kylie Nace.
She's coming in with 21 saves this game. That is a big number.
Adding to her already high number at 218. And that'll be out of play, Eagles ball, as they start things off yet again. And a cross in. Well defended by the Knights. Some scrambling moment in the 5-yard box.
So one thing to note about the goalie, Kylie Nace, just this week she was named CEC Field Hockey Defensive Player of the Week. She set a CEC single game saves record with an incredible 45 saves against the CNU captains this week. Her 45 saves also set the Division III 2019 season single game saves record. This is the first time in program history that the Knights have won a CAC Player of the Week honor.
And we're talking about a player who's playing her first official season for the Knights. And of course, the only thing you can do is move upwards.
I'm excited to see what will be in season for the Knights next year. Having some time to hopefully practice in the spring and the summer. I think we can see the Knights have a couple goals and even some wins next fall. I am excited.
And I am too, to see how every team improved. And we did many coverages so far this season with the women's soccer, the men's soccer, and we've seen how the teams have progressed so far. And of course, talking about men's soccer, the men's team will go at 7 p.m. today against St. Mary's. And look out for that broadcast here.
That will be a great game. Knights men's soccer playing some great soccer this season.
Yes, and we did lose to St. Mary's this year, 2-1. So that'll be fantastic to see. But right now, another attack for the Eagles. But did that go in?
That slips in, I believe.
That was unlucky for the Knights. That was well defended, but right now the Eagles go up double digits, 10-0 on the scoreboard. That was really unlucky for the Knights. It was a well-defended play, but just unlucky they hit the foot of the player. Just on the goal line.
Excuse us, that is 11 goals for the Eagles, not 10.
Oh, I apologize for that.
Yep.
Great play by Paige Anderson to win back possession. And Marilee Aiken. But yet again, they lose possession. And time to defend another Eagles attack. But the player's fouled. I believe that was just an unlucky trip.
I believe that was. This field's wet, and when turf is wet, it can get very slick. Do you see how far she slid across that field?
But of course, Victoria Biesel just ran and knocked just a tiny bit of the ankle accidentally, but no malice on that play.
No. But that will be an Eagles recovery.
But I think the Eagles are doing exceptionally well, just keeping possession. They're not rushing it. They're not desperate to go up by more goals. That is game management. And the Knights, they know that they have to defend. They don't have the numbers to push up and score 11 goals to tie this game. But all they can do is just defend. And well defended, but the referee calls that a foul.
And this will be another hit in from the back line or a penalty corner.
And as the Knights set for another penalty corner, let's see how they cope with this. The Eagles team were able to score 2 goals from the penalty corner in the first half and, of course, the third quarter. And let's see if they'll be able to do it yet again. We know this team can shoot. And pressure will be on Kylie Nace.
Ball's back into play.
And Eagles taking a shot, but that goes in.
Wow, what a shot.
That was a phenomenal shot. It reminds me of a goal from the women's game yesterday.
Yeah.
Exceptional.
Deep into from the right side. I believe that was by number 5, I believe that was, Kuna?
Yes, I believe that was number 5. Hannah Zangel, sophomore from Smithfield, for this Eagles team, getting her name up on the scoreboard.
Brave shot. But slipped by a couple nice defensive players. Great shot all around.
Yes, quick double from the Eagles, and the score right now, 12-0, with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. And the Knights just trying to keep possession, but they're unable to do that yet again. But that'll be a foul called against the Knights. And the Eagles just getting more players into the play. Balls with number 4, Meredith Liebel.
See, it's like you were saying before. It's plays like this, and even the last goal. None of the goals for the Eagles have been rushed. They've all been very, very smart and calculated plays to get into the goal.
Yeah, and that's phenomenal because imagine what if they just unleashed and went more aggressively like they did in the first half. They got like 3 goals in 5 minutes, and I think this teaches there's a lot to learn in this game in form of game management. I think the Knights can learn that you have to play like teams. This is the reason why they're one of the best teams in the nation is they pass the ball, they control the game, they don't rush, they pass it to their back line and keep possession, and that's what makes them one of the best teams in the nation. And in order to reach that level, it takes practice and training, and I believe that head coach Camille Lam will be taking copious notes in this game to keep this Knights team going. And another Eagles attack from the right wing.
Some great ball work by Lauren Hopkins.
Oh, wonderful tackle, but just unlucky by Marilyn Aiken. And Eagles piling more players forward with number 9, Izzy Scholes.
Great block there by Emily Erickson for the Knights. Forcing the Eagles to restart.
But it seems that that'll be another penalty corner against the Knights. And we've seen them score 3 times a play that comes from the penalty corner. So this is something that Knights want to watch out for. Another dangerous opportunity for the Eagles. But it will be interesting to see. I just hope that in 2-3 seasons, we do get to witness how this team progresses. It's great that we're doing this broadcast in the first season. We've seen how the Knights play, how the players adapt to these situations and playing against strong teams. So I'm waiting for the future seasons. And here we go. The Eagles. And well defended. I believe that was by number 21, Paige Anderson, a sophomore from Rich Lynn, Washington. And that will be another penalty corner yet again retaken. And here we go, a shot.
Deep shot.
And well defended by 23, Whitney Victory. That was great positioning. I apologize, Ben.
No, we keep doing it. So, but like I said, it was great positioning by the Knights, getting a hold of that ball right before it slips into the goal.
Great chip and well controlled, unlucky for Marilyn Aiken.
I missed what that call was exactly, but it will be Knights possession.
Well, whatever call that is, the ball's with the Knights now. Meredith Label looking to keep possession to the center back. Label yet again. And Sammy Farias has been controlling the midfield for the Eagles today.
Victoria Beisel working on that steal.
And Victoria Bissell unlucky on that play. That'll go back to Eagles.
I believe she accidentally hit it with the wrong side of the stick, and the ref happened to catch that. So, unlucky.
Well, how
for
wonderful
Knights.
it'll be if the referees can catch plays like that on a soccer game, huh?
Right.
And here we go. Another attack for the Eagles in the right wing yet again. And well tackled by number 7 for the Knights, Emily Jacobson. And the Eagles have attack and men forward.
Some great defense by number 12, Elizabeth Sorto. Someone who has been a very powerful defender for the Knights this entire season.
And I think it's amazing to know that head coach Camille Lam has played majority of the players on and on again. And of course, the Knights do not have a phenomenal roster with a lot of players, but they do play the same players, getting them experience and get that chemistry a little bit. And a rare attack for the Knights. And she was trying to swing it in, but unlucky for Merrily.
Pass to number 21, Paige Anderson, but is intercepted by the Eagles.
And that was a great run by Page to provide some support in the middle of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, with less than 1 minute left on the clock, just an update on the score as the Eagles lead this Knights team at home at the Fields 12-0. And of course, the Knights are still looking for their first shot on goal in this game, defending for a long period of time. And we do see that the Knights goalkeeper, Kylie Nace, has had 23 saves made in this game, the 36 shots taken against her. And Eagles unable to control it. Knights ball. But they do retain possession.
Knights doing some great ball work there, keeping it in possession, but pass I think that got caught up in the turf was intercepted, and Eagles making another break.
Yes, wasted opportunity in this wet turf, but great dribbling by Lauren Hopkins to keep the ball up in the air for a few seconds. And here we go, the end of the third quarter. And thank you for joining us in this broadcast. And the score stands Eagles 12, Knights 0. And it'll be very interesting to see what head coach Camille Lamb has to say to her players and how she's going in this final quarter. And of course, the final game of the season.
Mm-hmm. And I think that'll be exactly what she'll tell them. Like, girls, this is the final game, final quarter of the season, right? We gotta work hard. Let's just play our hearts out and finish on a good positive note.
And let me tell you, one thing we never actually mentioned in this broadcast, or maybe we've never really realized, is how much the Knights players are running. They have been phenomenal. They don't have a great or a large roster, but every player has played every game, and they run and run and run. It's phenomenal to see how much stamina they have.
Mm-hmm. So they play their hearts out every single game, and it's, like I said, every single player on the roster. Coach Lamb has been very good at making subs and getting all the players into the game.
And we can see the future, so we don't know how they would fare not having that stamina. Maybe more goals they would concede, but so far with their energy levels have always been high. Going down 12-0, it's easy to hang your head slow and just walk off the park and just get done with this game. But they're going as though the score is still tied at 0-0. So that's pretty good heart that we see from the team, but great coaching from head coach Camille Lamb.
It's as one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite movies goes, "The legs feed the wolf." So,
and of course, as always, you're profound with your words, Ben. And there we go. We're waiting for the clock to tick as we see the final quarter of this game and what will be a final season, as we're sad that we'll not get another broadcast of this game. But it has been a phenomenal season. The Knights have played some pretty good games, and they have not recorded a win so far this season, but they have done the best of what they could have done.
Players coming back out on the field to start this fourth quarter.
And of course, the last time the Knights actually scored was on 28th of September against Bride Athlin, which they lost 2-1. But I believe that would have been a very, very close game.
Mm-hmm.
And on the ball is number 1, Marilee Aiken, a freshman from Park City, Utah, leading the front line. And Michaela Hillian has been quiet this entire game. The number 6 for the Knights playing in attack. And the Eagles defense doing pretty well to keep her away from their goal. And Eagles playing their game management tactics yet again, as they're just getting those Knights players forward, just making them press intentionally so that they'll leave those gaps in midfield so they get more passing opportunities.
Well, that's one of the things that the Eagles do well, is that they look at those gaps and know where to pass the ball.
And that's where you see the Knights' inexperience, because when a team is bringing the ball to their defense, they're forcing you to come out of your shell so that you will not sit back and defend so that you press the ball, you come forward, and they leave all those spaces and gaps in the middle of the park. And well, kudos to the Eagles for doing that, but that's something the Knights can work on in the future.
And that's what a lot of this, as we talked about, that's what a lot of this first season is about, is preparing for the future. So,
And Eagles piling more pressure. Oh, great long pass. But I believe that was intended for number 19. However, number 14, Kelly Poole, able to get that one.
seeing some aggressive defense out of the Knights at the beginning of this fourth quarter.
And I think the Knights can look to do that too. Get one player, move deep into the opposition half, and bring those midfield players of the Eagles down and see if you can get some space to keep possession. Kelly Poole yet again. And Jess Smith looking for a through ball, but that will go out of play for a Knights ball. And fans out there, of course, do stay with us as we bring you another broadcast of men's soccer at 7 p.m. tonight against the St. Mary's.
That will be a game to look forward to. Last time St. Mary's running away with a win 2-1 in a very closely contested game.
And I do remember that game, the Knights doing exceptionally well, but it'll be interesting to see how they play today.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Caitlin Walker on the ball and found her intended recipient. And the Eagles will go yet again. They're not at their fluent best, we've seen, but the Knights doing well to keep them at bay. Caitlin Walker yet again. And the Knights well defended. Well defended by number 17, Karina Olsen.
Eagles having a much harder time getting the ball in.
And I think it's what you mentioned earlier. Maybe the Knights are really pumped up to close the season.
Ball rolls out of bounds. Off of the Knights, so it'll be Eagles possession.
And let me tell you, I mean, this is the Knights have conceded, the most they've conceded in this field hockey season is 9 goals. And of course, today they do break the record, conceding 12 times. But being the last game of the season, why not go on? And a very, very scrappy defending that was, and that would be a penalty corner for the Eagles. I believe the referee was standing so close to the ball, he could have seen everything.
Mm-hmm. Eagles looking to use this as an advantage, as they've done in the past, to get another goal into the box.
And that's something that has troubled the Knights throughout this game. They've not able to defend against. They're just great shooters, and that has been the ability, and that's what they're doing well. It's so hard to say what they've done wrong in this game. They rarely set a foot wrong in this game. And the Knights too, but the Knights are just not attacking enough. But defensively, they're not too bad. It's just we're against a very superior opponent.
Mm-hmm.
And Eagles on the ball. A great shot. A well defended by Kaylee Nace, but that will fall against the Eagle yet again. Scrappy play in the penalty box. Another save.
Great support by number 14, number 11 for the Knights, Ashley Marin and Grace DeGrucio down there helping Kyla Nace out.
That's what we're talking about, team game. Great play by the Knights. It's phenomenal to see the Knights put on a performance like this, even though they were down by 12 goals. The girls have heart.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes I think it's tough to have heart when you're playing a team that's superior than you are, but these girls are not giving up.
And that's what we mentioned earlier, Ben, as what you said. This is the last game of the season, and the girls look pumped up. They're defending well. They've not conceded so far in the final quarter. And that is a good bonus. We know this team is capable of that.
Knights with a chance for some offense here.
But they give up possession cheaply, and Eagles get possession yet again. And a rare touch of the ball for number 6, Michaela Hillian. But that will not be a nice ball yet again.
That was a foul on the Knights. A little bit of a late call, I thought.
Of course, the referee did not see that one.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eagles controlling possession, keeping the ball with their neat and tidy passing. Looking for a few more attacks from the right wing. She has options in the box. And that will be out of play for a Knights ball.
Knights looking to do something on offense with just under 9 minutes left.
And substitutions coming in for the Eagles.
It'll be number 8 going off.
I believe that's number 16, Jackie Smith,
Mm-hmm.
coming in for her, a junior from Parsippany, New Jersey.
That was Sammy Ferris going off of the field, the junior from Falls Church, Virginia.
The Eagles piling more pressure, but we do hear some screams from the fans. And I'm just glad I'm not sitting out there in this rain-soaked Buena Vista weather.
I would have to agree with that, and that will be a kick. And Knights ball. Knights recover very quickly to restart.
And the Knights, here we go. A great chance for countering. Ball's right now with Marilee Aiken. And she has options in the box. She has 3 players, but no one's running towards her, but away. Oh, great dribbling.
Work. Being double teamed for Marilee Aiken.
Oh, and Michaela giving away possession cheaply, and she'll get a lecture from Marilyn. A great way that she motivated her teammate instead of getting. Yeah, that's something we want to see.
Michaela Hillian also, though, showing the frustration of that. So she had time to go and create a play down there on offense.
And it's amazing to see how this team is still passionate, going down 12 goals, but wherever we see heart, we do appreciate, don't we?
Oh.
And that would be cleanly out of play for a Knights ball.
Jackie Smith, number 16 for the Eagles, thinking that there was a player over there, but no gray shirt was found.
And only finding a crimson. And of course, dribbling well, Elizabeth Sorto on the ball right now. Looking to find a crimson. She does find. And the Knights have a chance so far. A rare attack for the Knights.
Emily Jacobson going in. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. I failed to see.
And that would be Knights ball.
Knights possession.
And let me tell you how much that one goal for the Knights will lift this entire fan base. We have a good crowd turning in for this game today.
That would be something. Knights getting another goal on this team.
And across, looking for Michaela.
Ball's barely out of bounds, but it will be Knights ball according to the ref. I think some of the Mary Wash players having some difficulty understanding how.
Well, that does happen when you think you're here to dominate the game, but the Knights showing them that's not the case today. The ball's right now with the Knights. But apparently there's only like 2 players in the box to receive that pass. I just hope that more players would get into that position to get something behind the ball. Michaela crowded around gray shirts, but and that did hit the foot of the player, didn't it?
I believe so. That's what it looked like to me, but I missed the official call from the ref. Knights with another opportunity. Michaela Hillian going in.
Oh, well tackled by the Eagles defense. I believe that did hit
I believe that was a kick, yes.
the foot of Paige Anderson, number 21 for the Knights.
Unlucky for them.
And Kylie Nace kicking it far away, but unable to find a Crimson instead of a Eagles player. But the referee making another call yet again. Eagles ball. And taking a shot, and the Eagles have an opportunity, but well defended by the Knights. The ball is still active. Good call by the referee.
Good call on the ref. Nice possession. Looking to make another play of what happened on their last possession. Getting some time on offense.
And the Knights have done well to clear the ball away and finding a player to pass to. And here we go. Great tackle by Marilee Aiken.
Having a hard time getting away up, though.
Oh, Michaela just crowded around. She was just in the pocket of the Eagles defense. Emily Erickson. It's good to see that the Knights are still looking to attack, getting that one goal, but they've done exceptionally well in this final quarter. They've not conceded yet so far in the final quarter. They're defending well. But it seems that an exhausted Marilyn Aiken took a hit over there, and she would just walk out of the pitch. Eagles on the attack.
That'll be a big blow for the Knights, losing Marilee Aiken.
And we did see her leadership skills on the pitch so far. She has been the one motivating her teammates, and when they have their heads hung low, she did give a pat on the back and lifting them up, and that is a huge blow. But right now, the Knights having to blow this attack out. A scrappy defending, but done well by the Knights. The Eagles still keep possession. A great tackle by Michaela Hillian. But the ball just seemed to be stuck on the turf.
I think she thought that there was going to be a whistle, but no whistle was called. So she just let it go.
And that's what they say, always play through the referee's whistle, right?
Mm-hmm. I believe a pass goes through everybody and goes wide.
And, of course, with 2 minutes left on the clock, the game still stands. Eagles 12, Knights 0. And we are at the fields in this rain-soaked Buena Vista, Virginia. And here we go. Another attack for the Eagles. The Knights having to work overtime to keep the ball out. But they have done well so far.
The Eagles having a lot of time for some reason on that play to get inside.
Yes, that moment when the Knights defense got napping a little bit, but they get their concentration back online as they have possession yet again. And Ben, as the game is coming to a close, another season curtains closing on it, what do you think the Knights can do to improve their season going into the future? Or what is something that you liked about this game so far?
I think the Knights have played some great defense tonight. And especially this second half really showing that. And I think for the offseason for the Knights, a big thing for them will be to watch footage of every game and be able to learn from the things that they've done well and the mistakes that they've made, but as well the same for the other team. We've talked about a lot in this broadcast and other broadcasts about how the Knights can learn from other teams, especially since most of them have never played field hockey until this season. And so I think that's something that they can do, whether it's watching their own footage or watching, Division I teams footage or professional field hockey, and learning from those.
And an Eagle shot, and that goes past everybody. And I apologize, Ben, it's what you mentioned earlier, and I think that's great advice for the Knights. I think because of the adrenaline, way to go. Another attack for the Eagles. Great shot, by the way, that was.
Mm-hmm. Clock coming down with 10 seconds.
By Jackie Smith, number 16 for the Eagles. And as you mentioned earlier, Ben, I think that is something the Knights can work on moving to the future. And the clock ticks down, and here we go, the full-time whistle. The Knights are finally done with their field hockey game. The score is 12-0, but what what a phenomenal performance by the Knights to keep their heads up and continue going, because it'd be so easy to say we want to stop, we are rain soaked, we don't want to play anymore. But they just kept going and going, and what a best or wonderful last quarter they had.
Phenomenal game tonight by the Knights, and as well phenomenal season for them despite the record. So great job for the women's field hockey team and Coach Lamb for powering through this season. Please stay tuned on this broadcast to watch men's soccer play St. Mary's tonight.
And of course, as coming back to the hockey, yes, again, I think one thing the Knights can do is watch every broadcast and look to improve. And that's something where when you have the adrenaline, I apologize, in the game, it's so hard to work on the mistakes you've done. But let me tell you, what a player. Kylie Nace, a name to remember. She has had an exceptional season lifting this team up. And of course, Marilee Aiken needs a mention, along with Victoria Biesel, the number 2 for the Knights. They have all done well. They're all leaders. And let me tell you, what a phenomenal season they've had so far. And we look forward to them for their first win. And hopefully they get that in the coming seasons. And we wish them all the best. And that's all we have for you folks in this Field Hockey broadcast. We hope that you stay safe, stay dry. And this broadcast joining you was Kuna Shilan and my good friend Ben Spencer. So take care, and always remember that it's good to be a Knight. Good night.